Hey yo, it's your favorite N-word. This time I'll be talking about story number 16, the greatest story ever lived. Established 2002. Setting, high fantasy futurism. Realms, 4. Reality, which is planet Entempt. Limbo, hell and heaven. Species, times 7. God, over everything else. Humans, elven, androids, fairies, devils, and angels. Characters, 117. Seasons, maybe 3. And that's a hard maybe, because I might just, do it all in one loop. But, who knows? Because, Daily Arts is like 8 seasons and shit, because the tournament happens 8 times. So that's a hard maybe. Summary: the essence of virtue and the essence of hatred, two very broad spectrums forced upon two newly birthed gods. Stalk kits, intelligence kits, and physical kits gave them inspiration to recreate humanity all over their first universe. Different sets of reality for all of them, but this one, their latest, have been the greatest. They threw all kinds of thoughts into creating this set of humanity. Humans, elves, fairies, devils, and angels. Over time, they created androids, the first of their kind to dabble in artificial intelligence. Even though it wasn't needed, this lex of intelligence made their magical worlds a million times better. At the same time, making it a million times worse. Survival of the fittest was already big, with 5 species fighting over magical lands, magical wells, and magical thrones. Going into outer space made the fights more creative and destructive. But there's so much magic that the 3 sides of the war seem to never lose. Always ready to fight, always fucking with millions of innocents, even the innocent monsters. Over 2,000 years of their good versus neutral versus evil war. The same gods keep coming back for more. Without the blessing of their blood from their chalice, you wouldn't be able to come back either. It's the highest gift any being could receive in this universe. True immortal life. As true as they are tired of living this war, will they ever find a loophole that keeps them coming back? Part 3 equals the essence of virtue. Originated in the origin universe made specifically to create immortal light. An angel of the kindest might has been hardened by the supreme amounts of might over and over again, trying to create as much light as possible to counter the darkness she can't stay away from. Armed with a vessel, a mind and a heart that won't quit, she instills in humanity to never give up. Making your life is how they created the status quo, which why the competition of such a world has made it magically and technologically advanced with space tripping and dimension hopping. The 12 under her are the lords of her army. Throughout the years, she has only given her blood through her chalice to those who are fitting for immortal wars. They are all bringing what she's made of, gifted with a permanent seat at the table. They are in an order of top to bottom, left to right. People with god powers can control existence via the god control and existence control panels. It's a very ridiculous responsibility that can alter absolutely anything. Never has she ever given these abilities to the irresponsible, only to the heartful, only to the truly altruistic, with warrior upbringing. Fight for the less fortunate to bring them more fortune. Makes her mind melt every time she experiences it. This helps her stay beyond mighty for the right side of humanity. Life is better when your like minds keep you strong. Now, who they are. Part 3. Origin Goddess. Superpower is all. Her main categories are Heaven's Icicle Shark. She prefers to fight with 2 katanas, 2 sabers, and 1 scimitar, which will be referred to as ninja swords. Or rocks. He's an angel. Superpowers are life and portal. Likes to fight with a spirit katana. 702. An elf. Superpower is tightness. She likes to fight with nunchucks and guns. Solaris. She's an android. Superpowers are time and armada. Likes to fight with spirit fingers. Ultimacy. An android. Superpower is astronomy and armada. Likes to fight with a particle cannon. Genius. Carmage. Human. Superpower is Heaven's X. Likes to fight with a particle cannon. Delinguinus the Great. He's an elf. Superpower is sorcery with the categories of ice, rival, which is the code name for space, wind, and currency. He likes to fight with a deck of cards and ninja swords. Miracula Atrocious. Human. Superpower is Magistry. Categories are light, tightness, life, and phoenix. She likes to fight with a spirit sword and guns. Star. A human. Superpower is Heaven's Astronomy. She likes to fight with a spear. Sickening. He's an android. Superpower is Weather. Likes to fight with a chainsaw sword. Rossetti is Done. Android. Superpower is Culinary. Likes to fight with a particle cannon. A Celado. Devil. Superpower is Hexery. Categories are life, gruntage. Superpower of viruses and bacteria. Sight and tightness. She likes to fight with a halberd. And the latest lord, a Nujra, a fairy. Superpower is Heaven's Hummingbird. Likes to fight with ninja swords. Othello equals the essence of hatred. The darkest absolutes were solely created to pay homage to the entity known as tyranny. If you want it, go get it, and don't let not nan nigga get in your way. Ultimate power comes with being so powerful. No one can stop that. Kicker comes in a form of how freeing Othello is. All he wants people to know is, whatever I say goes. Don't make me example you. His deep crimson cosmic beard under those nebula eyes will always draw attention, so always stay aware in these worlds. He goes and comes as he pleases, just to make sure there are no injustices going on anywhere. All of his humanities notice, even goes to other sectors to remind the worst of his creations. On occasion, he may example, just cause. No one is allowed to live in this world under the pretenses of, it won't happen to me. It could happen. For those that live as contributing members of society, all they want is, don't start none, won't be none. To make everyone strong, all citizens of Entempt, space colonies, Limbo, hell and heaven, live a supernatural life of giving unto the inevitable darkness, or be tortured by being less, for the purposes of creating new detrimental ways of forcing everyone to be strong-bodied, strong-willed, and strong-spirited. He gave his blood through a chalice to the ones with the biggest threat level of no god bloodline. Their background stories are real long, but I'm gonna keep it short. Othello, an origin god. Superpower is all. Main categories are Hell's Hippo of astronomy. He likes to fight with a barbarian sword. Darlex, an angel. Superpower is ancient raptor of earth. Any superpower with the prefix of ancient makes the person, the wielder, into a god upon their death. She likes to fight with a set of Trishulus. Erasmo, fairy. Superpower is culinary scorpion. Likes to fight with a set of custom swords. Illusory, a human. Superpower is sorcery. Categories of unicorn, death, Gemini, and blank. She likes to fight with a spear. Pragmatistic elf. Superpower is magistry. Categories are motorcycle, fire, vegetation, and psychic. She likes to fight with 2 automatics and a battle motorcycle. Wednesdays, human. Superpower is wind, mantis of death. Likes to fight with a chainsaw sword. Likes and Krieg, human. Superpower is sorcery. Categories are monster, curse, ice, and astronomy. Likes to fight with ninja swords and an automatic. Hand stop, human. Superpower is sorcery. Categories are groks, which are the guaranteed relentless affection of the X's. Acronym for a monster that are hands. Demon, holy, and time. Likes to fight with a whip and an automatic. Gichao eyes, devil. Superpower is Gemini and fantasy. Deck of cards and guns is how he prefers to fight. Jubro, a fairy. Superpower is a platinum behemoth. Likes to fight with gauntlets. And his tallest ever foot ass has reached, so good luck. Mimic, angel. Superpower, sorcery. Categories, trilobite, skeleton, dark, and hypnotism. Likes to fight with a blade chain or a particle cannon. PSX, yes, PlayStation. Android. Superpower is Cyber Dragoon. Likes to fight with a particle cannon. And Othello's latest lord, Rose Cray. Human. Superpower is sorcery. Categories are morph, armada, life, and ray. Likes to fight with a doll and guns. When Part 3 and Othello brainstormed a humanity plan, they wanted to make royalty. They created a child for each nation they originated across the lands of Entempt, Limbo, Hell, and Heaven. All of them were brought into the world through a god birth. Through the womb of Part 3, they became. They would either come out as good, neutral, or evil. After they were god raised, evolution was created, and eventually humans, elven, fairies, devils, and angels developed. Out of vanity, androids were eventually created, but because of high magic, they were deemed as a self-sustaining and procreating species. Eventually, the war of good versus evil turned to good versus neutral versus evil, by Mech and Ultra X deciding to make a league of better beings that forced Part 3 and Othello to raise their first lord. Then the Order of Lords was created amongst the 3 entities. 2 minds made for great choices throughout the millennia. They helped fuel a humanity of disproportionate fiction that's going to blow your mind to smithereens. Up, down, side to side, roller coaster style, over how this humanity has created and even stronger than the universe's original state world. They reward those that have the capability of ultimate choices for all with a chalice of their blood. They come in the form of peace crusaders that act as permanent leaders to keep peace across the 4 worlds. The chips on their shoulders are wild to the beyond. It's a mystery how they have become so detrimental, but key citizens of mediating mad beautiful to mad killy with it. But remember, that saying about 3 sides to a story, this lordship will be the truth. Mech, human origin God. Superpowers are summoned with the categories of portal, death, life, fire, water, earth, and wind. He likes to fight with 2 katanas. Ultra X, elf origin guide. Superpower is Ancient X, likes to fight with a power suit and a knight sword. Vibrantia, android. Superpowers are earth and light, likes to fight with a scimitar and an automatic. Zakira, android. Superpower is light griffin, likes to fight with a set of katanas. Valentine, elf. Superpower is Marlboro Armada, likes to fight with a knight sword, shield, and bow. Zig Zamir, devil. Superpower is Rainbow Sound, likes to fight with claws. Enziatic, fairy. Superpower is sorcery. Categories are ice, smoke, gruntage, and shadow, likes to fight with a double sword and guns. Kilzinthi, android. Superpower is gruntage ray, likes to fight with automatics. Ls Moy, elf. Superpowers are astronomy hydra, likes to fight with a whipping sword. Fakeland, android. Superpower is craftmatism, form is spider, likes to fight with 2 katanas. Ichinay, android. Superpowers are death and electricity, likes to fight with claws. Onali, devil. Superpower is curse explosion, likes to fight with automatics. And the last lord, Trish, human. Superpower is summon. Categories are tightness, portal, psychic, dark, light, hands, and astronomy, likes to fight with a knight sword, shield, and bow. Gods and their royalty. Everyone in his image is either a queen or a king. Peep this. When Part 3 and Othello were deciding on life forms, they included their whole encyclopedia, plus the 5 humanoids of these worlds. Original to this world are Grok's hands. Small hands that can age into dire wolf-sized hands to behemoth-sized hands. They help them form new ideas into existence. Now I'm about to make up a number. Alright? It took 400 hazillion hands to form this galaxy, this solar system, this star, and the 4 dimensions associated with it. They wanted such a pure masterpiece they used heaps of magical might, more than a normal universe requires to be created. It's no wonder this humanity turned out to be so intelligent. In the image, the top 20 or majority of the original humans, elven, fairies, devils, and angels of this universe. They are the first generation ancients that haven't grown tired of existing. Even though they have been killed off a few times, they are still there. The bottom row are the lovers of the gods. Thalix is the under-king of Sixth Ninja. Chrysliane is the under-queen of Uliomek. Kilrishna is the under-queen of Thirtenius. And Azel is the under-queen of Zeno. And West Grusso is the under-king of Eurovan. They are important figures of this world. Their species are the following: Jogulus and Ray Leo, angel. Gigantomanga, fairy. Type 1, fairy. Berad, angel. Red Lovo, human. Rocky, fairy. Joy Galore, elf. Ditsy Bicky, fairy. Ogreton, angel. Balazuka, angel. Astrid, angel. Razaga Nox, devil. Oasis Aura, human. Ingest, human. Sixth Ninja, fairy. Cappadonis, fairy. Thirtenius, fairy. Zeno, human. Eurovan, devil. Io. Now think about this. Throughout time, they have been giving chalices of blood to the honorable people of their nations. Whether the god was good, neutral, or evil, depicted what kind of folk would venture out into the worlds. So no telling when you will come across an immortal, a god regardless. And yes, they get their god control panels too. The key to their magic and technology belongs to spreading the wealth of what Part 3 and Othello started with. The 25-year-olds. Yeah, nigga. This group of characters all grew up with each other. All of them eventually met by the time they were 7 or 8. The princesses and princes are offspring of the origin gods. They have spent millennia procreating whenever they damn well please. Something happened to them 25 years ago for them to all procreate at the same time. Love was beyond in the air. It was in their veins. Within this group are subgroups that are spread apart by row. If you've been paying close attention, Anudra, Trish, and Rose Cray come from the leagues of army lords, the center of the group. You can even see their friendship through the heart on the left side of their lips to keep this group from becoming bigger than they already are. Huge backstory there. Part 3 and them had to make a divide. Otherwise, this group would have went in the direction of Uliomek and Ultra X. Otherwise, that huge backstory of how they were raised by the origin gods through quests through other universes would have changed this world for the ultimate worst. So it seemed to them. A little bit about these suckers of mass creation and destruction. Duke Quans Fairies house started creating androids for their new branch. Surveil is just like the previous ones, made to be an exact vessel replica of their baby, and like all androids, Surveil is his own. They are allowed to lead the family once the baby has graduated high school. Autographs is the daughter of Mect and Chryslian, their only offspring. Savika is the name of the nation she comes from. All daughter lineage, they always call themselves Savika. Punisher and Ex-Punishment would not give up their code names. They are always trying to one-up one another. The bows of Anudra, Trish and Rose Cray are below them. Zeist and Zeroed are dating. Unique Ra and Lord Something are dating. Toad and Vermilion are dating. Lazara and Laguna are dating. Liquidel's parents adopted Toad on a whim because they didn't want their daughter growing up alone, but they also didn't want to procreate again. Toad came to them 2 months after his birth, appeared on their doorstep by a cloaked woman who told them that the universe heard their conversation, registered him as he is, and told him when he first asked when he was 5. Lastly, I want to add something about their universe hops, provided by the origin guides, who have always raised their offspring in different universes, and no matter which child, if they had friends, they were sent out of the universe with them. 9 years of age, a whole lot of people without a crown was in that first hop to tend to a child tournament. They were to be entertainers for the first time, especially since they all wanted to tap into their powers way before they needed to. As they aged, the hops would become more dangerous but more fun. They learned a lot with each other, and because they were who they individually were, they were developing as a league to be that many super beings doing that many super things. Bingo. Upon the beginning of the story, they will be sent on their 25th hop. It will be called Zombies Ate My Neighbors, the final. The gods will take them from their parents, Mect and Ultra X, just so they can go on a vacation, so they can be together again, cause adulting is about to rip them apart. Family X. Ultra X wanted an Ultra family. 400 odd years ago, he was in love with 5 women. Because he's a god, he made 5 boys. The only thing he controlled was their gender and mixing up their powers to not be derivative. Outside of that, he never controlled any aspect of their lives, was a stand-up father, raised 5 champions of this universe, accepted their immortality, and have been running around as high elves ever since. They are feared highly across all of the bounty board system. They keep it extra anti-theft so that people helping out with the universal cleanup gets their worth. Not only if this family could go help Mega Man and Zero out. Space Colony, the mother, the original space colony of this world, is the reason why when they switch dimensions, all the space colonies are still in the solar system. Magic out the cutlass, and I done told y'all, the mother is as big as planet Entempt, making it as big as all of the worlds. Of course, it has enough capacity to harness intense magical might. Kronos is one of their prime ministers, as it's the only domain the gods have no jurisdiction over. It's for all of non-god kind. Their access to it is exclusive. Guys have to go through customs sometimes. Full Wreck and Shorty 2x4 are assigned to Kronos' personal detail. Space Art is a famous artist where Kronos serves. The capital area of the mother is called Raker Blockade, and that's where Kronos will be serving as prime minister. Virtus Tenora is made up of 3 princesses, angels of nations, Dallas, Gatrin, and Ennius. They are 723 years old, been thick as world leaders from an undeterminable time. Their holy trinity have made a name for themselves to the point they could get a full ride anywhere. They represent their thrones well, but they like to stick together on purpose. They have inspired many of the 25-year-olds to act as pilots of trio girls. The group they are attached to is known for helping out all of hero kind. You'll never know when they'll be in your city. They always leave traces behind though. The feathers from their wings can be traced all over history. The final row consists of presidents and owners of the 4 main venture suppliers of the worlds. They make all kinds of photon merchandise that is used for militaries, legions, and individuals. From melee weapons to range weapons to mage weapons to bard weapons, all the way over to armor, units, general items, magical items, and the ability of upgrading everything through extended photon upgrades, as well as fashion. Golsum is a 687-year-old devil who is the owner of Grave Industrialist. It's a company that specializes in ranged weaponry. Ishali is a 1,000-year-old devil who is the owner of Black Metal Corporation. It's a company that specializes in barred weaponry. Malvery is a 504-year-old elf who is the owner of the Killers Association. It's a company that specializes in mage weaponry. And Osetius is a 578-year-old devil who is the owner of United Peppermint. It's a company that specializes in melee weaponry. The 4 of them will be seen occasionally through the story. Their headquarters are on different planes, but they have plenty of buildings all around the solar system. It's your characters, repping the greatest story ever lived. In no particular order, I would describe these solo, contributing members of society. Mirror Zeus, an elf boasting the superpowers of Mirror Cheetah, whom is the highest grand saint of the Saint Order, making her the head. It's the prime population that acts as the council order for Part 3 in heaven. Mirror Zeus is just like Part 3, always wanting to be everywhere for the sake of saving as many lives as possible. The only reason she wasn't turned into Part 3's first lord revolves around her feeling like if she took the chalice, she wouldn't be able to do what she does. Part 3 felt that and gave her the chalice anyway. She is 1,000 years old. Naked Fates, an android boasting the superpowers of Afterlife Realm. He's a grandmaster martial artist who runs the Fulfilled Promises dojo. As bogus as that sounds, believe it, the sky is the limit with him, which is why his features appear as such. He'll help you be able to send souls flying too. He is 1,029 years old. Kares, a fairy boasting the superpowers of Earth. She is a galactic-class archaeologist, Tome Raider, known for running through lost spacecraft and tomes of unmanned planets. A brave child of the universe she is, so believe her when she tells you that you will survive. Now stop being scared. She is 210 years old. Q, Altena, an android boasting the superpowers of Titanus Matism, Form Cannon. She is a leader of Ace of Spades Services, a villain assistance program that helps people come up with groups for terrorism, heist, hits, demolition, or general connections for a new league of villains. She was handed the business from a human who gave it to her because she could run it better than his offspring. Ever since then, Othello has been highly pleased with how well villains have been since. She is 653 years old. Lemonix, a devil boasting the superpowers of summon, with the categories of psychic, water, cyber, astronomy, energy, vegetation, and earth. He is the head of the Lemonade Order, a group of neutralites that serve as protectors from monsters. They are always traveling around the world, taking up bounties in distant lands. Not third world country, but lacks any kind of strategic forces to make living easier. This keeps him well connected to finding more power. He is 300 years old. Lady Ivero, a fairy boasting the superpowers of Matism Mirror, Form Unicorn. She's a traveling galactic-class aerologist, psychologist, and endologist. Endologist will be the one who studies monsters, with HIPAA being high standard in this world. A recipe for power comes from working for any organization. Need your offspring to be on their superpowers better, stronger, and faster? Book her. They sometimes call her the society changer. She is 1,000 years old. Merlot the Man, a fairy boasting the superpower of magistry. Categories wine, orbital, electricity, and portal. He is a designer chef who is also the president of Pimp My Vine Winery. This ridiculously high wizard has a spell book that will make you want to become immortal too. The ZOZ Coven is still alive because of him and doesn't mind letting non-spellbinders read his spell book. He is 1,000 years old. Grave Mister, a devil boasting the superpowers of Shadow Skeleton. Yeah, he is the head of a Golden Tomes mortuary, a prosperous business that takes care of death for the ones that don't want immortality or just to die because of having a hard life can get taken care of easily when he's not on his job. He's a galactic class bounty hunter. He is 192 years old. 2317, an android boasting the superpowers of Explosion Crystal. Categories Mayhi, Topaz, and Iolite. An Idbot who was once pure with love and prosperity. No one is immune to being overpowered and forced to do things against their will. A kidnapping situation made him see life from a different point of view. Lucky in a sense, the bloodbath he created to remain alive turned him into an assassin. Sometimes he doesn't kill his targets, he turns them into monsters. He is 312 years old. Coventina, a devil boasting the superpowers of sorcery. Categories of Cerberus, Smoke, Portal, and Chain. She is a space captain of the Dark Apocalypse Pirateers. Although they are aligned with virtue, their name, their ship, their overall looks beg to differ, so they stay in the sea of darkness, working in the shadows. They can be considered Part 3's Space Army. She is 685 years old. Ikojishi, an android boasting the superpowers of astronomy fraud, crazy with it to the beyond capacity. Per her look, she is a space captain of the Faceless Pirateers. You guessed right, she controls the Space Army for Othello, always running around with a round mask over their faces. No defining features, just a blank round mask that strikes fear in us all. She is 333 years old. Harlium, a devil boasting the superpowers of Charismatism, Form Skeleton. He is the lead singer of the band called Neverton. When he's not in stadiums, on television studios, or even in dive bars, he's tome rating. He acquired power in a multitude of ways, but his favorite way is doing it all by himself, the ancient warrior way. He could full on use his natural incubus ways, but there's nothing like gatling his way across terrains to a power beacon. He is 379 years old. Offering, an angel boasting the superpowers of Matism, Weather, Form is Gundam. He is the president of operations for the Universal Bounty Board. Big job, huge job, always in the business of distress signals and making sure no one is left for dead. Works with all entities of virtue, neutral, and hatred. Considered just as important as Part 3 and Othello at this day and age. He is 1,544 years old. P.S. All first generation gods are 1,670 years old. Part 3 and Othello are eons old. Dare Me 3000. An android boasting the superpowers of rainbow and dark versus light. And yes, he's a whole trip when he uses his powers. Better not have epilepsy. Your ass is gone. And as ridiculous as his smirk is, he is a galactic class villain paparazzo, polluting the worlds with nothing but vanity and offensive hilarity. He is 377 years old. And your girl, Momosha, an angel boasting the superpowers of sorcery. Categories are Kyojin, skeleton, light, and mirror. White roses are a symbol that belongs to the Quiz clan, a legendary ninja coven of evil. They operate independently, but sometimes work with just Othello. The surprise is, Momosha is Mimic's twin sister, thought to have been executed because they were on the high road of excellence that would have made the Quiz clan millions of times more detrimental. Just sent to another universe to torture Mimic. She'll be back someday, and somebody will have to pay, or millions. She is 211 years old, and that will close out, some little folklore, some little character description, some of the world, so you know how it was built. Story number 16, the greatest story ever lived. TPB out. Mwah.